I've cracked the code to keeping fussy plants blemish free. All it takes is adding 1 drop of this to the water you use on your plants.
You know the fussy plants I'm talking about, the notorious calophyas of course, the dramatic zebra plants, even the trusty spider plants. There's lots of them out there.
They all have that annoying habit of having their leaves turn crispy brown at the tips and edges within only a couple of months of bringing them home from the garden centre.
Well, I've got the solution to this problem, and no, it's got nothing to do with increasing air humidity. It's much simpler than that.
I started applying it to the water I use on my plants and I've seen a massive improvement in their health.
I'll show you my Calophyia zebrina, and if you compare how this plant used to look versus today, you'll be amazed.
So why on earth do the leaves of our beloved plants turn brown at the tips despite everything you do? Well, contrary to popular belief, it's not just because they aren't living in a super humid environment in your home. Sure, humidity can play a part, but this isn't really because they love high humidity. It's more because they dislike inconsistent humidity.
When a plant is used to an environment that is humid, like the highly controlled greenhouse from whence they came, and moves to one that isn't, like your home, then it may throw a hissy fit and spit out some brown leaves.
But what if you've had the same plant in the same house for years and yet it still spits out leaves with brown tips? In this case, it's likely not just down to humidity issues.
A much more likely cause is the mild toxins in the tap water you're using when you water your plants. And my solution easily corrects this. You'll be amazed.
Water is the lifeblood running through the veins of pretty much all life forms on this green planet of ours, including ourselves of course. And indoor plants are no different. It's their ultimate source of nourishment. Can you believe that a whopping 95% of a plant's composition can be water? That's mind-boggling.
Now think about how you feel when you're on holiday and you drink water that's different from what you're used to, or perhaps not as clean. It makes you feel sick, right? Well, the same thing happens to our calophyas.
Here's the brutal truth. The water that comes out of our taps at home is often treated with stuff like chlorine or chloramine and contains trace elements of ammonia and heavy metals.
These substances are added to make water safe for humans to drink. And unbelievably, fluoride is sometimes thrown in to keep teeth healthy.
It might be great for us, but not so great for our sensitive leafy friends. You see, chlorine and chloramine can be toxic to plants, especially delicate ones like calophyas.
They won't instantly wither away like ice cream on a summer's day, but over time, with regular watering, they'll start to show signs of illness.
Think yellowing leaves with brown crispy tips and edges. Not a good look for our green pals.
While most plants can handle the low levels of chlorine found in tap water, some, like calophyas, don't appreciate the slow build-up of this chemical in the soil. It affects their leaves, causing that unpleasant browning effect. This issue can also crop up if you live in an area with hard water or higher levels of lead in the water.
There are lots of viable solutions to this problem, from collecting rainwater to using distilled water to fitting a reverse osmosis system at home. The problem with these though is that they're either too time consuming or can end up being pretty expensive.
I'd need a lot of distilled water to water all of my plants, and it's just not feasible for me.
Plus, distilled water is so pure they can actually act like a leech, stripping the soil of nutrients as it passes through.
I can collect rainwater of course, because of how plentiful rain is here in Sheffield, but I don't really want to be going out traipsing into the garden on a winter's day. Plus, I'd have to screed out all the bugs and whatnot that collects in the water butt. It's fine for the garden, but not so much indoors.
An alternative and much easier solution is to use water conditioner.
This is the magic potion I've been applying to my tap water for over 2 years now, and I've seen a massive reduction on browning edges on all my plants.
Our aquarium friends will know all about water conditioner because it's what they use to make tap water safe for their fish. So what's good enough for fish is certainly good enough for our plants, right?
Now, I'm no aquarium expert or anything, but you can't just fill a tank with untreated tap water and plonk some fish in there and be done with it. They're not going to be happy. You need to treat the water to rid it of nasties like chlorine, heavy metals and other mild toxins.
The same stuff that is plaguing our fish in tap water is also plaguing our plants, so using water conditioner will make it safe for sensitive plants. It makes perfect sense, and over time this can make a big difference. This pro level tip is actually included in my free Plant Problems Troubleshooting Handbook that you can nab completely for free in the description. It's been downloaded over 30,000 times, so get yours now.
Now I've been using this for over 2 years on my plants now, and the results have been fantastic.
Take my Calafea zebrina for example. Long-time viewers of the channel will know all about my battle with this plant. It's my kryptonite.
I'm sure you've probably struggled with this plant yourself. It's got to be one of the fussiest plants known to man. I've tried rehabbing it more times than I care to remember, but every time the brown tips came back stronger than before.
So after the 10th time of doing this, I was just about ready to throw in the towel and the plant in the bin until a viewer of the channel told me about water conditioner.
Now, like so many of us, I assumed that the problem was down to humidity. But I did a little bit of research, became convinced and thought I'd give this plant one last shot with this stuff and see how it gets on.
Well, the results have been superb, and I thank all the viewers of this channel that have recommended this stuff to me. It's transformed this plant from ugly duckling to beautiful swan. Just take a look at the leaves and compare them to how they used to look. Barely any browning at the tips or crispiness around the edges. Just healthy foliage that is making its father proud.
Normally I steer clear of Calafea because of how much of a nightmare they can be, but this potion makes it all possible.
Years ago I tried growing one of these, the Calafea orbifolia, and the brown leaves were just relentless. So much so that I binned it. Well, my confidence grew after using water conditioner, so I tried again. And this one has been a joy to have in my house. Really, the only thing that gets in the way of me and Calafeas these days is spider mites, but that's a story for another day. Another plant that I've been slowly losing my hair over the last couple of years is the green orange plant.
I fell in love with this plant when I saw it for sale online because of the stunning orange stems contrasting with the green leaves. And when it arrived, I wasn't disappointed. It was absolutely gorgeous.
The problem was though that it started to deteriorate within only a couple of weeks of living in my home. The leaves were turning black and I really wasn't sure why. Just like with the Calafea zebrina, I was ready to throw in the towel. But since using water conditioner on this plant, it's been looking so much healthier. I'm convinced this stuff is a magic potion straight out of Snape's inventory at Hogwarts. So, which one should you use? There are lots of water conditioners out there for you to try, but the one I've been using for so long is API Stress Coat.
This video isn't sponsored by API or anything. I'm just happy to spread the word because of the success I've been seeing with my collection. I chose Stress Coat rather than water conditioner because it seemed to fit the needs of my plant a bit better.
Water conditioner can impact the pH of the water, whereas Stress Coat doesn't, so I opted for that one.
And the way I look at it is this. This product is supposed to help stressed fish, and my plants are stressed too, so it'll work for them just as well, right?
Lots of you will be thinking that to remove chlorine from tap water, all you need to do is leave it out for 24 hours or so to dissipate.
This is 100% true for chlorine, yes, although a mighty faff. Chlorine is gaseous and will dissipate if left out, but it's all a moot point. The majority of water companies are now using chloramine to treat their water instead, which doesn't dissipate, so leaving it out overnight won't do anything.
API Stress Coat instantly neutralises both chlorine and chloramine, as well as ammonia, and detoxifies heavy metals in tap water.
Now, a bottle of this stuff costs about £12, which is about $16. You might think that's a bit steep, but this stuff really does go a long way. You won't be needing to buy it very often. In fact, this is the first bottle that I ever bought and it's still going strong. The dosage is less than a half a capful per 10 gallons of water. That's 38 litres for those of us using the metric system.
That means for a 1 litre watering can, you just need to add a single drop for it to work its magic. So this 16 fluid ounce bottle will last an absolute age. Like I say, I've been using this for a couple of years now and I've still got some left. Simply add a tiny drop to your watering can and add water. Mix it well to ensure proper distribution of the conditioner and go ahead and water your plants. There's no need to let it sit or anything. The effect is instant.
And don't worry about overdosing your plants or anything. It's not really possible with this stuff. Not unless you pour the whole bottle in or something. A couple of drops instead of one isn't really going to be a big deal.
To make it easier for myself, I nabbed this from Mrs. Sheffield's drawer so that I can measure out a single drop very easily. Now, something that I wasn't 100% certain about was the impact on plant fertiliser. I wasn't sure if the water conditioner would neutralise the fertiliser or not. Well, I needn't have worried because it has no effect at all. They can be used together no problem.
If you're still convinced that you only need to leave your water out overnight to remove the chlorine, then watch this video next. It might convince you otherwise.